Hello friends, good afternoon. Am I audible and visible? Yes guys, am I audible and visible? Somebody please ping me so that I can begin with today's session. Yes Paragat, hi. Am I audible? Am I visible properly? Okay, thank you. So guys, another important session on modern Indian history. And today we are going to focus on formation of Indian National Congress. Hi everyone, this is Alok Ojha. Welcome to StudyIQ IAS English and welcome to Modern Indian History series. Till now we have covered different aspects of modern Indian history, particularly important Governor Generals, important Charter Act, Renaissance, Revolt of 1857 and many other aspects like Peasant Movement, Education Commission and so on. For the aspirants who are new to the platform, let me give you one information. Many of you have a doubt or a question, sir, where to download the PDF of the session from. So you can download the PDF of the session from my Telegram channel, history_Alok Ojha. Okay guys, so now let's begin with today's session. Yes Ravi, good afternoon. Formation of Indian National Congress. Now, what are the major pivotal factors that promoted growth of nationalism in our country? Now, what is the meaning of the word nationalism? Yes, guys, please keep the session a bit interactive. If you have any question, any query, you can feel free to ask me. What is the meaning of the word nationalism? Yes, somebody? Yes, guys. Nationalism basically means a feeling of belongingness towards one's country. So what are the factors that actually promoted the growth of nationalism? Before the formation of Indian National Congress, let's understand these factors in a step-by-step manner. First, political unity and development of transport and communication network. As discussed earlier, guys, whatever development that Britishers have brought in India, initially it was not actually for the development of Indians. But later on, Indians got the benefit out of it. Correct? For example, British introduced railways in India. Correct? In 1853, during the time of Lord Dalhousie, the first passenger railway started from Boribandar to Thane, which covered an approximate distance of 34 kilometers. True? It had 3 locomotives, Sindh, Sultan and Sahib, and 14 carriages. So this development was done by the Britishers for their own sake, but later on we got the benefit out of it. People throughout India got connected because of the transportation and the communication network prevalent at that time. Media also played one of the major role in promoting the nationalism. How did the press or media played a very major role in sensitizing the masses? We have studied about Revolt of 1857 and we have studied that one of the prime causes for the failure of Revolt of 1857 was what? It was majorly confined to the northern part of India. But guys, people throughout India were sensitized. And the major role was being played by whom? The newspaper, the journals, pamphlets, press and so on. Correct? Whatever was happening in the northern part of India, people in southern India, central India, western India, eastern India came to know about this. And the major role was being played by press. As I've told you, although the revolt of 1857 was confined to northern part of India majorly, but there were many leaders who also participated from southern part of India. Correct? Like Annaji Fadnavis, he participated from the region of Maharashtra, particularly in the region of Kolhapur. Correct? Sultan Bakhsh, Ghulam Ghaus, they participated from the region of Madras. So what played a key role in sensitizing the masses? The key role was being played by the media. Apart from this, socio-religious reform movement. And we have studied about these socio-religious reform movements in quite depth and detail. Like, let me give you a few examples about this. Our Indian society was being plagued by different social evils: sati system, child marriage, female infanticide, human sacrifice system. As discussed earlier, during the time of the Governor General Lord Hardinge, there was one tribe, particularly in the Chota Nagpur Plateau region, referred as Kand tribe or Kond tribe or Kui tribe. And they practiced one system which is referred as Maria system. And it is also referred as human sacrifice system. So here, there were certain educated people, particularly from the eastern part of India, who believed that before getting rid of Britishers, we need to get rid of our rudimentary thoughts and tradition. And this led to what? Socio-religious reform movement, also referred as Renaissance or revival or rebirth. Revival or rebirth of what? Ideas, philosophies, and so on. So these socio-religious reformers used newspaper, journals, pamphlets as a medium to sensitize the masses. And later on, these newspapers also played a very crucial role in highlighting the exploitative character of the British rule in India. So socio-religious reform movement played a very crucial role. Rediscovery of India's past. Here, Max Muller, European scholars like Max Muller, Roth, Sassoon, apart from this, Indian scholars like Swami Vivekananda ji, whose original name was Narendranath Dutt, they focused on India's past. I'll give you a very small example of revolt of 1857. We have studied about Lord Dalhousie, and we have studied about one of the policies of Lord Dalhousie, which is referred as doctrine of lapse. Under doctrine of lapse policy, a ruler who does not have a legal male heir, his kingdom would be annexed by the Britishers. Hundreds of kingdoms were annexed under the pretext of doctrine of lapse. Isn't that true? One kingdom, Awadh, the Nawab of Awadh, Wajid Ali Shah, he had a legal male heir in the form of British Qadir, but still Britishers annexed what? The region of Awadh. On what reason? On what pretext? On the pretext of misrule and maladministration. Here, our socio-religious reform leaders like Swami Vivekananda ji, they said that look back into the India's past. Look at the administration of Mauryas, such a vibrant administration, such a dynamic administration. Same with the administration of Cholas, or particularly Cholas, Cheras and the Pandyas. Beautiful and the vibrant economy of the Cholas village administration, Gupta's administration. So it is not that the Britishers have taught us how to administer our country. We need to look back into our past. Rediscovery of India's past. Apart from this, racial discrimination played another key role. I'll give you two important aspects here. Revolt of 1857, we had seen one important factor. And what was that? In Revolt of 1857, Britishers have adopted a policy of racial discrimination. For example, if I am recruited into the British Indian Army as a Subedar, I would remain Subedar by the retirement, or if possible, probably a higher rank than Subedar. But suppose if a young person is appointed to a higher post like second lieutenant or lieutenant, he would retire as a colonel, as a major, as a brigadier. So the discrimination here was on the basis of color of the skin. So Britishers have adopted this policy of racial discrimination in India. Correct? Apart from this, on what basis are you discriminating with the Indians? I'll give you a small example. In ancient India, we had studied Aryan invasion theory. And what did we study in Aryan invasion theory? There were certain tribes of Central Asia who entered India through Khyber Pass, which is located in Hindu Kush mountain. They started subjugating the natives of India. The natives of India, unable to meet their challenges, they moved towards southern part of river Narmada. Correct? The people who got settled in the northern part of India, particularly around the region of Brahmavarta, Sapta Sindhu or Aryavarta, were referred as Aryans. And the people who got settled in the southern part of India were referred as Dravidian. Correct? Now these are basically it is believed that they came from Central Asia. They are Indo-Europeans. Who gave this theory? a European scholar, Max Muller. So on what basis are you trying to racially segregate the Indians? If the theory is given by a European scholar, correct? Rise of middle class intelligentsia again played a very crucial role in promoting other factors for growth of nationalism in India. Also, the points are clear, guys. Yes, Sirisha, good afternoon. Yes, guys. Now, Indian National Congress. Hope so the points are clear till here. Any question, any doubt, any query, please feel free to ask, guys, because from here onwards we are going to study all the important aspect. The actual freedom struggle begins now. Correct? Now, post revolt of 1857, there were many political organizations which were quite limited in their scope. Like there was formation of British East India Association, British Indian Society, Bombay Native Association, Madras Mahajan Sabha in different parts of the country. In simple words, there were different political organizations or pre-Congress organization which were operative in different parts of the country, but they were very limited in their scope. Now, the final shape for the formation of Indian National Congress was given by a retired civil servant whose name was Alan Octavian Hume. First question that arises in the mind of an aspirant: if Alan Octavian Hume was a retired British civil servant, why did he supported the formation of Indian National Congress? And that theory is referred as safety valve theory. We'll understand in the further part of the session what is safety valve theory all about. Correct? Now, before the formation of Indian National Congress, it is believed that Alan Octavian Hume wrote a letter to the British Parliament around 1883, and that letter was in the form of an appeal from the people of India, because at that time elections were being held in Britain, and this letter basically told about one thing: being a democratic country, you are governing the other country in an undemocratic manner. Isn't that so? So this is not practically feasible. So here he wrote an appeal from the people of India, but it hardly had any impact. Finally, on 28th December 1885, I repeat, 28th December 1885, Indian National Congress was formed at a place called as Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit College in Bombay. Correct? And the first session of Indian National Congress was presided by Bhumesh Chandra Banerjee and attended by 72 delegates. The number of delegates were 72. It was held at Bombay, presided by Bhumesh Chandra Banerjee. The second session of Indian National Congress, please keep on noting down these things, guys, because sometimes there could be a question on the session. Sometimes there could be a question: who was the first Englishman to preside the session of Indian National Congress? Correct? So please keep on noting down the important facts. I am repeating the points again. Pay attention carefully. Yes, SS Talks, good afternoon. The first session of Indian National Congress was held at a place called as Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit College, Bombay. It was presided by Bhumesh Chandra Banerjee, attended by 72 delegates. The second session of Indian National Congress, it was presided by the grand old man of India, Dadabhai Navroji, and it was held at Calcutta. It is believed that approximately 434 to 436 delegates participated in the second session of Indian National Congress. And now Indian National Congress decided that every year we are going to meet at a particular place and discuss the issues of national importance. Before telling you the third session, let me tell you about Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan played a very pivotal role in Mohammedan Renaissance. He established Translation Society for the educational upliftment of the Muslim section of the society. But Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, it is believed that he remained loyal towards Britishers during revolt of 1857. And for this, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was given the knighthood by the Britishers. He was given the knighthood by the Britishers. When Indian National Congress was formed in 1885, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan asked the Muslim section of the Indian society to stay aloof from the Indian National Congress, to stay away from the Indian National Congress. Why? Because he believed that Indian National Congress at that time was a party of politically elite Hindus. So he insisted the Muslim section of the INC, he insisted the Muslim section to stay aloof from INC. But in 1887, the session of Indian National Congress was held at Madras. And the session was being presided by the first minority president. And his name was Badruddin Tayyabji. And from now onwards, the number of Muslim delegates and their participation in the Indian National Congress started increasing. And they were also active participants in Swadeshi movement. Hope so the points are clear. Fourth session of Indian National Congress. This was the first session to be presided by an Englishman whose name was George Yule. And the fourth session of Indian National Congress was held at Allahabad, presently Prayagraj. Correct? Now, please remember one thing, guys. Please note this down. It's a very, very important fact. Alan Octavian Hume, he played a very crucial role in establishment of Indian National Congress, but he was never the president of INC. Okay, he was just a secretary to INC. There were 4 Englishmen who presided the sessions of Indian National Congress. The first one was George Yule. Please note it down. William Wedderburn, Alfred Webb, and Henry Cotton. I repeat, George Yule, William Wedderburn, Alfred Webb, and Henry Cotton. These are the 4 Englishmen who presided the session of Indian National Congress. Hope so the points are clear. The 1889 session of the Indian National Congress, for the first time, women attended the 1889 session of Indian National Congress. And 1890 session of the Indian National Congress, it was presided by the Lion of Bombay, Firoz Shah Mehta. And the session was being addressed by Kadambini Ganguly. She was the first female graduate of Calcutta University. From now onwards, the number of delegates in the Indian National Congress started increasing. Hope so the points are clear, guys. Any question, any query? Shall I repeat the points? First session, Bombay, presided by Vomesh Chandra Banerjee. Please note down. Second session, particularly it was presided by the Grand Old Man of India. It was held at Calcutta, Dadabhai Navroji. Third session, Madras, presided by Badruddin Tayyabji. Fourth session, the first Englishman, George Yule. And there are totally 4 Englishmen who presided the session of Indian National Congress. George Yule, William Wedderburn, Alfred Webb, and Henry Cotton. Hope so the points are clear. Moving ahead. Okay, Shravan. Now, before I tell you about the aims and objectives of the Indian National Congress, let me tell you one important theory. What is safety valve theory? As I've told you right in the start of the session itself, if Alan Octavian Hume, he was a retired British civil servant, why was he interested in establishing Indian National Congress? Because Britishers are not that nice that they are going to establish a political organization in the country which will start demanding for its own rights. So this is nothing but a safety valve theory. What is safety valve? Guys, you might have seen a pressure cooker, correct? Below the vessel, there is a small hole or a small valve. This is called a safety valve. What is the purpose of that safety valve? Suppose due to certain unforeseen situation, if the cooker's what we say pressure is not released from the whistle, what will happen? There is a probability that the cooker might blast. It might lead to a fatal injury. But what does the safety valve do? If the whistle does not blow, the safety valve gets bursted and the pressure is released from the safety valve, which prevents the fatal injury. Same was the formation of Indian National Congress. How? Revolt of 1857. Although everyone had a common enemy in the form of English East India Company, but everyone had their own cause. Like for example, from the region of Bihar, particularly from the region of Jagdishpur in Bihar, two Zamindar brothers led the revolt of 1857. That is Kunwar Singh and Amar Singh ji. From the region of Jhansi, the movement was led by whom? By Rani Lakshmi Bai ji and Jhalkari Bai. Why? To protect the Jhansi from the yoke of the Britishers, particularly from the yoke of English East India Company. Nana Sahib Peshwa, who led the revolt of 1857 from the region of Kanpur, what was his major cause for participating in 1857 revolt? Because his father used to get a pension of 8 lakh rupees annually. And this pension was denied to Nana Sahib Peshwa. So Nana Sahib Peshwa ji participated in revolt of 1857. So although there were different leaders who participated in the revolt of 1857 against a common enemy, but they were fighting for their own cause. So there was lack of central leadership. Although central leadership was declared in the form of Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal emperor, correct, as we have seen earlier, but here the movement was pulled in different directions. And when the movement was pulled in different direction, there was lack of centralized leadership. What happened? It became quite tedious for the Britishers to suppress the movement. And Britishers did not want it to repeat the same mistake. What did Britishers do? At that time, they came up with army reorganization. They appointed one commission referred as Peel Commission. And as per Peel Commission, the ratio of the members was 3:1. Like for example, in the British Indian Army, over every 3 Indian soldier, there would be 1 European officer. Correct? Britishers now thought that if we create an organization or a political organization in the form of Indian National Congress, what will happen? The nationalist leaders across India will come on a common platform and they will discuss the issues of common interest. So in that case, it would become quite easier to negotiate with them. Or they might have thought that it would become quite easier to suppress them. Isn't that so? Hence Britishers, they came up with the formation of Indian National Congress, and this is nothing but a safety valve. So INC was a safety valve for the Britishers because they wanted to avoid the condition like revolt of 1857. But this was one of the huge mistakes that was being committed by by Britishers. Hope so the points are clear. Hope you understood the safety valve theory. Do you want me to repeat the theory? Yes, guys. Hope you have understood this. Okay. Now, these are the certain important facts that you need to remember. Now, let's understand about the moderates and the extremists. Guys, always remember one thing. And what is that? Right from the start of the modern Indian history, I've told you 2 aspects. And what was that? Britishers have played 2 major cards in India. Divide and rule, carrot and stick policy. Like divide and rule means what? To divide the Indian society on communal lines. And this was seen for the first time in 1899 when Lord Curzon, he became the Viceroy of India. Because Lord Curzon, he divided Bengal into 2 parts. On what pretext? He said that Bengal has become too big to be administered by a single Viceroy. Hence, I am dividing the Bengal into 2 parts, West Bengal and East Bengal. This was the actual actual agenda that was being shown, but what was the intrinsic hidden agenda? The intrinsic hidden agenda was West Bengal was a Hindu majority province. East Bengal was a Muslim majority province, and at that time Bengal's population, it was approximately around 8 crore, approximately. Correct? He actually wanted to hurt the communal fabric of the nation by dividing the Bengal into two parts, West and East. So this is one of the policy which is referred as divide and rule. And second policy is carrot and stick policy. And the carrot and stick policy's genesis goes back to the formation of Indian National Congress. How? Right from the start itself, Indian National Congress was divided on ideological basis. And it was divided into two parts, moderates and the extremist. Moderates in Hindi is referred as Naramgal. I repeat, Naramdal. And the extremists are referred as Garamdal. As the name suggests, what was the methodology that was being adopted by the moderates? Let's understand. It is believed that for the first 20 years, that is from 1885 to 1905, the Indian National Congress was being dominated by the moderates. Now let's understand the key differences or the methodology between the moderates and extremists. Moderates, like Lord Curzon, like I just gave you the example of Lord Curzon. Okay guys, have you, like, basically I was just reading one of the facts about Lord Curzon, that Lord Curzon, he was a very egoistic personality. Okay, and Lord Curzon, although being an egoistic personality, he has written an apology letter to the Maharaja of Travancore. Like, this was an article also in the newspaper The Hindu. Like, it is believed that Lord Curzon in 1899, when he came to India as a viceroy, before this he visited India 4 times. So when he came to India in 1899, in 1900 he visited the region of Kerala, particularly the region of Travancore. Correct? So the Maharaja of Travancore, he received him. So Maharaja of Travancore, at that time, he was sitting along with Lord Curzon in his horse-driven carriage, and he saw the temple of Padmanabha Swami temple in Kerala, dedicated to Lord Vishnu or Narayan. Now he stopped his carriage there, and when he stopped his carriage there, it is believed that he came out of the carriage and he bowed in front of the what we say temple of Lord Vishnu. Curzon, out of curiosity, asked the Maharaja of Travancore, "My Highness, why are you bowing in front of an idol?" He says that I am paying my deep reverence and respect towards our deity, Lord Narayan or Lord Vishnu. Now Curzon, he gave a very derogatory comment, and he gave a comment like, "Okay, this is the place where the idols are fed." Maharaja of Travancore, he got very angry. So, but since like he was a guest to him, he dropped him in the guest house, and Maharaja of Travancore, like it is believed that Lord Curzon had arranged a meeting in the town hall. All the Nawabs, all the Maharajas were invited, including the Maharaja of Travancore, but he did not go to the meeting. At that time, Lord Curzon had said to Maharaj that I will deprive you with all your powers. He said, "For me, the religion of or my deity is first. My God is first." Finally, it is believed that Lord Curzon had to write an apology letter to the Maharaja of Travancore. Correct? So that was an incident that I actually got, it struck my mind when I read about when I was talking about Lord Curzon. Correct. So now let's understand about the moderates and the extremists. Norem, you can get the class PDF from the Telegram channel, and the Telegram channel is history_Alok Ojha. You can get the PDF from there. Moderates. Now moderates, they believed in something called as providential mission theory. Now what is providential mission theory? If we remain loyal towards Britishers, some or the other day, Britishers are going to repay back us for our loyalty. Okay? In that case, they believe that we do not want independence all of a sudden. We want independence in a gradual step-by-step manner. This is the methodology or the strategy of moderates. Please pay attention. They said that we do not want independence all of a sudden. We want independence in a gradual, step-by-step manner, and the transfer of power should be peaceful and bloodless. They believed in PPP. And what is basically the PPP mode? This is nothing but prayer, protest, and petition. They said that we do not want complete independence. We want self-government. What is self-government? We are free to choose our own dignitaries, but they would be working under the British Parliament or the British Crown. This was demanded by the moderates. On the other hand, extremists believe that if it is necessary to adopt violent attitude, we will adopt. If it is necessary to adopt extra constitutional means to gain independence, we will adopt. And they did not believe in self-government. They said basically what? We want complete independence. I'll give you one of the small examples of one of the most revered and respected leaders from the region of Bombay, Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji. Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji, he gave the word of Swaraj, and what did he talk about Swaraj? He said in Marathi about Swaraj, स्वराज्य हा माझा जन्मसिद्ध अधिकार आहे आणि मी ते मिळवूनच राहणार. Swaraj is my birthright and I will have it. So I want complete independence, and for that, if we have to adopt violent means, we will adopt. If we have to adopt extra constitutional means, we will adopt. So the methodology of the moderates and extremists were quite different. Correct? And it is believed that for the initial 20 years from 1885 to 1905, the Congress was being driven by an ideological perspective majorly of moderates. So these are the important moderate leaders, like as we have seen, Vomesh Chandra Banerjee. He was the president of the Indian National Congress in the first session, which was held at Bombay. If you remember, guys, Firoz Shah Mehta, he is one of the renowned lawyers from the region of Bombay Presidency. He is also referred as the Lion of Bombay. He had a newspaper referred as Chronicle. Justice Ranade, he played a very pivotal role in socio-religious reform movements, particularly from the Western India, precisely from the region of Maharashtra. He was an active member of Pune Sarvajanik Sabha. He was also the judge of Bombay High Court. Surendranath Banerjee, one of the most revered leaders. Surendranath Banerjee was the first Indian journalist to be imprisoned. Surendranath Banerjee, he is also referred as Indian Burke. I repeat, he is also referred as Indian Burke because when he was studying in London, he read a lot about a Western thinker whose name was Edmund Burke. And so his ideological perspective, it became like an Edmund Burke. Hence, Surendranath Banerjee, he is also referred as Indian Burke, one of the most important and revered moderate leaders. Subramanyam Iyer, Dadabhai Navroji, also referred as the Grand Old Man of India. He is the first and the only major Indian who was the British Member of Parliament from 1892 to 1895. Okay. He was the first, Dadabhai Navroji was the first Indian to be the member of British Parliament, 1892 to 1895. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was quite associated with Dadabhai Navroji. Then Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Swadeshi movement in 1905, when Lord Curzon, he will announce a partition of Bengal. Gopal Krishna Gokhale will raise an anti-partition movement in the form of Swadeshi movement. And the call for Swadeshi movement was taken at Banaras session of Indian National Congress presided by Gopal Krishna Gokhale ji. Gopal Krishna Gokhale ji is also referred as the political guru of Mahatma Gandhi. Correct? Like he was given the knighthood by the Britishers, but he declined the knighthood. One more important fact about Surendranath Banerjee. Surendranath Banerjee ji, he is also referred as Rashtra Guru. I repeat, Surendranath Banerjee, he is referred as Rashtra Guru. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, he played a very crucial role in establishment of BHU, Banaras Hindu University. He started Sanatan Dharma in BHU. Okay, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya is one of the he played a very key role in the India's freedom struggle. He is also referred as Mahamana. I repeat, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya ji is also referred as Mahamana. Badruddin Tayyab ji, the first Muslim president of Indian National Congress. This is Raj Bihari Ghosh, not Bose. I repeat, this is Raj Bihari Ghosh, not Bose. So these are the important moderate leaders. Extremist leaders, Lala Lajpat Rai ji, oftenly referred as Sher-e Punjab. Then comes particularly, initially Aurobindo Ghosh, he was a moderate leader. Later on, he became an extremist leader. Bal Gangadhar Tilak ji, oftenly referred as Lokmanya, one of the important extremist leaders. Bipin Chandrapal, from the region of Bengal, another important extremist leader. So hope you understood the ideological perspective of the moderates and extremists. Yes guys, clear? Guys, in tomorrow's session, I will again tell you one of the most important things about Lord Curzon. Correct. One interesting story about how Lord Curzon created a golf course in the region around Shimla, particularly around the region of Naldera. First golf course created by the Britishers in India in the region of Shimla, Naldera. Okay. So, did you understand till here? Yes, guys. Are the points clear? Please say. If you have doubt, if you have query, please feel free to ask. Yes, Shirisha, Lal Bal Pal, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal. Correct. Now let's understand in a step-by-step manner about the major demands of the moderates. Okay. Reduction in the land revenue. Keep on noting down the things. As we have seen, the land revenue system, Zamindari system, Rayatwari system and Mahalwari system. The taxes were exorbitant. The taxes were heavy. Precisely speaking, in Zamindari system, we have seen that 89% of the revenue went to the company. In Rayatwari system, the average revenue on the fertile land was 60 to 66%. And on the barren land, it was 40 to 45%. Under Mahalwari system, the average tax was 66%. So the land revenue was exorbitant. It was quite heavy. So here, reduction in the land revenue, abolition of salt tax and sugar duty. Correct? The first thing, I'll ask you one question, guys. Like, we are going to study civil disobedience movement. We will study Dandi March in quite depth and detail. But why did Mahatma Gandhi choose salt in Dandi March? He could have chosen a different cloth. He could have chosen khadi. He could have chosen sugar. Why salt? Because when Mahatma Gandhi reached Dandi, he picked up salt and said, with this I shake the foundations of British Empire in India. Salt is a very important commodity which is used in every food except for the sweet. Correct? It is used in every food. And in that case, at least the salt in the coastal areas should be free. It should not be taxed. Hence, Mahatma Gandhi chose salt during his Dandi Yatra or Dandi March. Salt, it's so important commodity. Like there are many leaders who have played a very crucial role. If I ask you one simple question, guys, again another incident cropped up my mind. If I ask you one question, who is the youngest martyr of Mother India? Yes, guys, any guesses? Who is the youngest martyr of Mother India? I'll tell you an interesting story about this here. Yes, the first thing that will crop up in the mind of everyone when I ask the youngest martyr of Mother India was particularly Khudiram Bose ji. But have you heard about Baji Raut? Have you heard about them? Baji Raut, he is considered as the youngest martyr of Mother India from the region of Odisha, 11 to 12 years old boy. Like particularly around the region of Dhenkanal, which is in the region of Odisha, there was a ruler whose name was Raja Pratap Dev Singh. Now, Raja Pratap Dev Singh, he used to tax people exorbitantly, and he had the backing and support of the Britishers, and he imposed heavy duty on the salt. a small boy of 11 to 12 years old. What happened? Once upon a time, he was having his rice. And when he was having rice, it was not that tasty. He asked his mother to serve him certain salt. His mother said, where will I get the money to buy the salt from? That salt, it is heavily taxed. And these taxes have been imposed by the Britishers. And with the support of the Britishers, this has been imposed by Raja Pratap Dev Singh. At the very tender age of 11 to 12 years, he was sensitized against the Raja and the Britishers. Now the people at that time, Praja Mandals during 1920s, Praja Mandal was very active in the region of Odisha. And now they had decided that they are not going to pay any sort of tax to the Zamindar, any sort of salt tax. Raja Pratap Dev Singh asked the Britishers for help. Britishers came up with their military. They suppressed the movement in one part of the village. And now they had to suppress the movement in the second part of the village. For that, they had to cross a river which is named as Brahmani River. Brahmani River, it's a tributary of river Mahanadi. Correct? Brahmani, Mand, Ib, Hasdo, these are the tributaries of Mahanadi. So they had to cross Brahmani River. And there was a ferry boat, and this ferry boat was being driven by a small boy named as Baji Raut. Baji Raut denied Britishers to ferry them around the next part of the village. Britishers initially deterred him. Later they whipped him. Finally, he was being killed. Baji Raut became the first youngest martyr of Mother India. Correct? So, what was the major reason here again? Salt. So, abolition of salt tax. Correct? Improvement in the working condition of plantation laborer, protection of the peasants from the unjust landlords. Now, I'll give you a small example. I had told you about Mahatma Gandhi. That Mahatma Gandhi, as he completed his degree in law from London, he had two major options. Either to register himself at the Bar Council in London and practice as a lawyer, or he had an offer from Dada Abdullah or Sheikh Abdullah to come to South Africa and work as a legal advisor for his company. He decided to work as a legal advisor for the company of Dada Abdullah. And he went to South Africa. He was given the first class railway compartment ticket. As soon as he reached a station called as Pietermaritzburg, he was thrown out of the first class railway compartment. So he came to Dada Abdullah and he started inquiring, is this a condition of every Indian here, or is this a condition of just that was meted out to me? Here he came to know that there are two kinds of Indians here, indentured laborers and ex-indentured laborers. These laborers are brought from different parts of India and Asia and forced to work on the plantation fields by the English. Their condition was derogatory. Like they had to carry a passport size of document to reveal their identity. If they cannot use the public footpath which was being used by the Englishmen, if any Englishman is crossing by, they had to kneel down in front of him. Forget about bowing down. You have to kneel down in front of them. That was the condition of the laborers who were living abroad. And there M.K. Gandhi coined the term for the first time, Satyagraha, in South Africa. And he worked for the cause of the Indian laborers abroad. But still the condition of the Indian laborers in abroad was not up to the mark. This was another important demand. Protection of the peasant from the unjust money lenders or the landlords. We have talked about the Rayatwari system, guys, in the peasant movement. If you remember, so particularly unjust landlords, like if you remember this system, Rayatwari system. In Zamindari system, the Zamindar collected the revenue from the peasants, kept his commission and gave it to the company. 11% was kept by Zamindar and 89% of the revenue went to the company. In Rayatwari system, the company directly collected the revenue from the peasant and the role of Zamindar, it was indirectly abolished. It was directly abolished, not indirectly. How? Suppose in that case, if the peasant or the cultivator is unable to pay the revenue to the company, what will happen? The company will seize the land of that peasant. To protect his land from getting evicted, what will he do? The peasant will go to the Zamindar, because only Zamindar has the money, correct? Who has now become a money lender or a sahukar. So in that case, the peasant is duly exploited now. How? If he is unable to pay the revenue to the company will seize his land. In that case, he will take money on interest from the money lender, who will charge very high and exorbitant interest rate. If he is unable to pay the interest and the principal amount to the money lender, he will seize his land. So here the peasants are dually exploited. So here one of the demand was to protect the peasant from the unjust landlords. Reduction in military expenditure. Each and every points are important, guys. Each and every point. Okay. As I've told you, Britishers' home charges, if you remember the drain of wealth theory. In drain of wealth theory, we had studied one concept called as home charges. And what are home charges? Britishers are fighting the game of expansionism, the game of imperialism throughout the world. And they were majorly fighting with France. Hence, the battles between, or the war between Britain and France is referred as a global war. Why? They are fighting throughout the world for colonies. And since they are fighting throughout the world for the colonies, now what happened? They want money for what? For military equipment, for arms and ammunition. Where will the money come from? The money will come from India for buying the arms and ammunition. So the Congress here demanded, rather than spending that money for arms, ammunitions, imperialism, expansionism, spend that money for the welfare of the subjects. Correct? Expansion and reforms in the Legislative Council, that is, increase the number of Indians in the Legislative Council. As per Charter Act 1853, guys, if you remember, the legislative and the executive functions of the Governor General's Council were separated. Correct? So Governor General had a separate Legislative Council which consisted of 6 members. So here the number of Indians should be increased in that Legislative Council. Indianization of government service. First question that will crop up your mind, sir, why Indianization of government service? Because Indianization of government service was done way back in 1833. Congress is now demanding this in 1885, 1888, 1890. So this has been done almost 55 to 60 years back. It was just on paper, not in will and spirit. If you remember, Lord Cornwallis, he laid down what we say civil services. He is referred as father of civil services. But he laid down westernization of public service. Simple words, Indians cannot participate in civil services examination. But Indianization of civil services was being laid down by whom? By Lord William Bentinck. But this was not in will and spirit. It was just on paper. Although it was laid down in way back, Charter Act 1833. Correct? So here, include more number of Indians into civil services. So these were the major demands of the moderates and particularly the Indian National Congress. As discussed earlier, what was the major approach? PPP, prayer, protest, petition, meeting. Correct? So this was basically about the methods of moderates. Hope so the points are clear. Yes, guys, are the points clear? Any query, any question, any sort of doubt, please feel free to ask. Because in the end, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Indian Council Act 1892. The major achievement of the moderates was Indian Council Act 1892. Session is hardly 5 minutes more, guys. Major achievement of the moderates. Now, what is Indian Council Act 1892 and why did Britishers come up with Indian Council Act 1892? There were many demands of the moderates, and if Britishers did not listen to any of the demands of the Congress, particularly of the moderates, what will happen? There could be a probability of a revolt like the revolt of 1857. Correct? Apart from this, what happened? Continuously, Indian National Congress is demanding for certain new things. So in that case, as I've told you, carrot and stick policy, they have to keep a particular section on their side. So Britishers came up with Indian Council Act 1892, which introduced indirect elections for the first time. How? The minimum number of members in the Imperial Legislative Council would be 10. Okay? And the maximum number of members in the Imperial Legislative Council would be 16. These 10 or 16 are not directly elected. I repeat, these minimum number of members, that is 10, and the maximum 16, are not directly elected. They are indirectly elected. So who elects them? Zamindar, members of the Chamber of Commerce, moneylenders, okay, University District Board. They elect these 16 members. Obviously, all these people are loyal towards whom? They are loyal towards Britishers. So they will obviously elect the people who will remain loyal towards Britishers. Correct? So minimum number of members were 10. The maximum were 16. They were indirectly elected, not directly elected. Apart from this, they had the right to discuss the budget, but they did not have the right to vote on the budget. So what is the use of that discussion? Correct? Like for example, if they are negotiating, like why are you spending more amount of money on arms and ammunition? Rather than spend that money for the welfare of the subjects. Spend that money on education in India, health sector in India, sanitation in India, agriculture and irrigation in India. Why are you spending that money for your military prowess? You can only discuss. You cannot vote upon it. Okay? Apart from this, it's believed that the number of members of provincial legislative councils were also increased. Like the Bombay Bombay Assembly, it had 8 members. Bengal 20, Madras 20. Okay, Northwestern provinces 15 members and 15 members in United Provinces. I repeat, 8 members in Bombay Presidency, 20 respectively in Madras and Bengal Presidency, 15 and 15 respectively in United Provinces and Northwest Provinces, which was carved out of Punjab. Clear? This is nothing but Indian Council Act 1892. This came up during the time of, particularly, this was the output of the moderates. These are the important facts that you need to remember. Like sometimes the questions crop up in the examination. Who referred Indian National Congress as a factory of sedition? So it was referred by Lord Dufferin. Who remained loyal to the Britishers during the revolt of 1857? It was Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Okay. Alan Octavian Hume, as I've told you n number of times, he was only the secretary to Indian National Congress. He was never the president of Indian National Congress. Okay. Badruddin Tayyabji, the first minority president. Okay, George Yule, he became the first European to preside over the session of Indian National Congress, 1888 Allahabad session. Hope so the points are clear till here. Now let's go for a question and answer round for the next 2 to 3 minutes. Is it okay? Yes, guys. Name 4 Englishmen who presided the session of Indian National Congress, and I have discussed about them at least thrice or 4 times. Name 4 Englishmen who have presided the session of Indian National Congress. Yes. I'll give you 10 seconds, guys, to answer. It's an easy one. Boggle up your brains. Ponder, think. George Yule, William Wedderburn, Alfred Webb, and Henry Cotton. Got it? My next question, again a very easy one. We were studying right now the important moderate leaders. Which among the following moderate leader is referred as Rashtraguru? He is called as Rashtraguru. Yes. Yes, Samrat, very good. At least you are trying. Which among the following moderate leader is referred as a Rashtra Guru? Very famous one, guys. He's known for civil services and many other things. First Indian journalist to be arrested or imprisoned. Yes, guys, fast. Surendranath Banerjee. Okay, I'll ask you just 5 questions. 2 are done. Third, which Indian nationalist is also referred as Indian Burke because he was inspired by the philosophy of Edmund Burke? Yes. Surendranath Banerjee again. 4th question, which Indian nationalist is referred as Mahamana? I repeat, which Indian nationalist is referred as Mahamana? Yes, guys. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya ji. Guys, we have studied here right now everything. And my last and the final question. Okay. And the question, it's a very easy one. Who is considered as the youngest martyr of Mother India? Yes, just we have studied from the region of Odisha, Baji Raut ji. Okay, guys, see, one key thing, like there are many aspirants who usually ask me, sir, we can understand everything, but since history is associated with more number of facts, what is the major, like, what should we prefer that we will remember every fact? There is no necessity of remembering every fact. First thing. And as I've told you time and again, it's not only about history. It is better to read one book 10 times rather than reading 10 books. My friends, the only key here is multiple revisions. Now, I'll give you a small example, a very small example. Your prelims are around the corner. It is around 25th or 26th of May. You have hardly 70 to 75 days left. Okay. Suppose for ancient Indian history, you have 3 books. For modern history, you have 3 books. For medieval history, you have 2 books. For art and culture, you have 1 book. Just for history itself, you have more than 8 to 10 sources. You have Indian geography, wherein you will study physical geography, climatology, correct? Apart from this, you have world geography. Again, you will have 5 to 6 books. Same with polity. Usually people study polity from Lakshmikant. Correct? So you have multiple sources. Suppose for the entire syllabus, environment, economic survey, budget, totally you have 30 books. Is it feasible? Is it possible to revise in the end everything? Stick to one major source. Go for multiple revisions from that source irrespective of the subject. Keep on adding new things like you have a pen and paper along with you. Correct? And try to correlate things, guys. Correct? I'll give you a small example how the questions can crop up in the examination. Like in December 2024, there is a place called as Orcha in Madhya Pradesh. Now this place Orcha was in news. Why it was in news? Because Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, he has said that we will bring Orcha under UNESCO World Heritage Sites by 2027-28. So what kind of questions can come from the region of Orcha? Or what kind of questions can come up from this particular topic? Like Orcha, it is also referred as Ayodhya of MP. Why it is referred as Ayodhya of Madhya Pradesh? There's a reason behind that. Particularly, this region was being ruled by a ruler whose name was Madhukar Shah. He had a wife named as Kunwar Ganesh. And Madhukar Shah was a devotee of Lord Krishna. His wife was a devotee of Lord Ram. So once upon a time, he challenged his wife, Kunwar Ganesh, that go and worship Lord Ram and get him to Orcha. Angrily, she went to Ayodhya. She worshipped him for 21 days and Lord Ram appeared in the form of an idol. And he said that I'll come with you only under one pretext. Wherever you will install me, I will stay there. She said, okay. Now she brought the idol of Lord Ram to Orcha in Madhya Pradesh and she kept the idol in the kitchen. So the Garbhagriha of the Orcha Mandir, Orcha temple is in the kitchen. Okay. And from here onwards, Orcha, it is believed that it is referred as Ayodhya of MP. So this is how you can correlate the questions in the form of current affairs. Another important thing, like I was watching the Republic Day parade. Okay. And in the Republic Day parade, specifically, I was watching the different tableaus. I watched the tableau of Karnataka. In Karnataka, the tableau they had depicted Shravan Belagola, and secondly, they had depicted the Lakundi group of temples. Question can crop up from here. In the tableau of Andhra Pradesh, a terracotta art has been deciphered or discovered. Sorry, it has been depicted. Question can crop up from here. In the tableau of Uttar Pradesh, you can find the Ayodhya's Ram Mandir and the Mahakumbh. Question can appear from here. In the tableau of Punjab, you can find about the famous Sufi saint whose name was Baba Farid. You can get the question on Sufism, particularly on Baba Farid, from the tableau of Punjab. So this is how questions can crop up by correlating with current affairs. Correct? So keep on revising multiple times. The one major key to remember things. Okay? And secondly, as far as possible, go through at least 10 years of past year questions. Okay, guys? Now, UPSC IS English Sampurna batch. The morning batch is going to start from 24th of March 2025 sharp at 8 a.m. in the morning. And it has wonderful facilities like Prelims and Mains Residential Program, 11,000 reward to the monthly top performers, full refund of the fees once you qualify the prelims, and interview guidance program is also available. To avail the benefits of this batch, you can use my code ALOK Live. I repeat, you can use the code ALOK Live. Hope you understood the session. Hope the session was interesting. Okay, guys. Hope the session was interesting. Tomorrow I'll come up with Swadeshi movement and partition of Bengal, Swadeshi movement and formation of All India Muslim League. Again, a very important session, guys. Okay. So with this, I stop my words for the day. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you and have a wonderful day.